What's up guys, and welcome to Music Production Crash Course. Today I'm going to be giving you a step-by-step guide on learning to produce electronic music. If you'd like to start producing electronic music but have no idea how to start, or have already gotten started but have gotten stuck, this video should help you out. Electronic music production encompasses a lot of skills, all of which you at least have to be somewhat proficient at. It's kinda daunting, but I'll break it down as best I can. The first thing you need to learn is music theory. To produce music, you need to understand how it works and how to compose it. Without the ability to compose a good song, you're dead in the water. This may seem obvious, but a lot of people jump straight to asking about software, as if that's the reason the music sounds good. In reality, it's the skill and musicality of the producer. The two sides of music are rhythm and melody. You'll need to understand both, or else you'll be entirely lost when trying to compose anything. There are a lot of places to learn all of this. A great place to start is this book, Music Theory for Computer Musicians. It'll serve as a great introduction to all of this stuff. A link to this book, as well as everything else I mentioned in this video, will be down in the description. The second thing you need to learn is sound selection and sound design. Once your song is composed, you'll be spending most of your time within synthesizers and samplers. And let me start this off by saying there is absolutely no shame in using samples and synth presets. Some people would consider it cheating, but I'd argue it's not. If it sounds good, it is good. And using presets does not eliminate the need for the ability to get the sound in your head out to your headphones. You need to learn to layer, manipulate, and process sounds to get the sound that you're going for. One part of this is simply listening critically to music that you like and trying to pick out what kinds of sounds are being used. The other major part is a knowledge of synthesis. Even if you don't want to be designing all your sounds from scratch, you still need to know your way around a synthesizer and be comfortable with the different tools offered to tweak sounds. Synths Explained is a solid introduction to using synthesizers and the different kinds of synthesis. That's definitely worth a look. Also, check out YouTube channels like SeamlessR and ADSR for excellent sound design tutorials. And one last thing on synthesis, there's a thing called Syntorial that's more of an interactive way of learning synthesis, and I've not used it myself, but I've heard some really good things about it, so that's definitely worth a look as well. The third thing you need to learn is audio mixing, and this is everything from basic stuff like volume levels and panning, to EQ, compression, distortion, and reverb. And don't worry, a lot of this is not ridiculously technical, a lot of it is even decently simple. But it is vital that you learn it, and it does take a while to get good at. The best introduction I've ever seen to audio mixing is Jumpstart Your Mix by Graham Cochran over at jumpstartyourmix.com. It's kind of expensive, especially for a broke college student like yours truly, but it is well worth it. The fourth thing you need to learn is your software, also known as a digital audio workstation, or DAW. Well, once you've selected it, that is. And remember, if you skipped steps 1 through 3, no amount of good software will make you a good producer. There are a ton of great DAWs out there, but I'm going to mention 3 specifically: Logic, FL Studio, and Ableton. At the time that I'm filming this, these 3 are the most widely used DAWs by everyone from top professionals headlining festivals to teenagers in their bedrooms. One thing that will determine your choice is what computer you use. Logic is Mac only, FL Studio, at the moment anyway, is PC only, and Ableton works on both. Personally, I'm a Logic user, and I love it. It has an interface that's very intuitive to me, plus has a bunch of pretty impressive virtual instruments and effects built straight in. When I first started producing, for about the first year, I had an old PC, and so I got FL Studio, and I always found it counterintuitive and frustrating to work in. That is only my experience though, and I do know a lot of people who swear by it as the fastest way from their brain to their speakers. And it's definitely a really powerful program. And, like Logic, has a ton of great virtual instruments and effects built straight in. The third DAW is Ableton, and I'm not really going to talk about it because I personally have never used it. However, I do know it also has a ton of great tools built in, it's cross-platform, and it's used by guys such as Skrillex and deadmau5. As you're learning how your software works, you also need to be learning how songs are constructed, what elements are added, what kinds of elements are added, and how to pre-produce trademarks of your genre, such as sidechain compression, snare rolls, bass growls, etc. 2 things to help you out with that. First, listen critically to a lot of music in your genre. Analyze what you hear. Pick it apart, even write stuff down, and then try to imitate it. Once you've been producing for a couple of years, you'll want to start carving out your own lane and being original, but when you're starting out, imitation is a great way to learn. The second helpful thing is making of videos and tutorials. Watching producers explain and demonstrate how they made a track is not only insanely helpful, I find it insanely interesting. A few great places for this are groove3.com, dancemusicproduction.com, SeamlessR on YouTube, Boy in a Band on YouTube, Future Music Magazine on YouTube, and this last one will sound like shameless self-promotion, but my channel. I produce and put out a lot of music on this channel, and every time I release a song, I also release a making of video the week after. I've demonstrated producing everything from electro house to hip hop, and while I'm definitely not a professional, I like to think I'm pretty good. With making of videos, it doesn't matter what DAW the person is using. The tips and techniques given can almost always be translated to any DAW. And finally, step 5 of your music production journey is practice. Lots of practice. I hate to be a Debbie Downer, but for the first couple years of making music, your music is going to suck. And if you don't realize that at the moment, you'll look back a year or so later and then realize it sucks. And that's completely okay. Music production is hard. Any skill takes years to master. So don't stress yourself out by trying to be pro level right away. Have fun with it, and focus on making lots of songs and building up your skill level little by little. If you keep doing this consistently, I guarantee you will improve. And one more thing, in the description I've put links to a bunch of sites that will hopefully be helpful to you. That's it for today. Be sure to subscribe for more music and audio geek videos, and the occasional episode of Music Production Crash Course. I'm Gabe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.